from that meteor
There
shower.
you go, the Lolita
There you
ban.
go.
So this could be a Chango.
This could be a Chang'o or probably a Granger, which is a good combination with the Masha and of course the Hylos. I do like the Claude ban here for the side of Impunity KH as it complements the Masha split push.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. The Thams is your answer if you're Impunity KH to kind of match or mirror at least the movements coming out from the Masha. But of course, you know that the Masha will have a better time in terms of split pushing because not only can Masha clear out the minion waves fast,
yes,
you can also go to the jungle and take down turrets very, very quickly.
Very quickly. And
there
you go.
Expected. There's the Chango.
There you go. Bring in the stars. Chango with the peace sign, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Evos SG. But they will immediately answer with the Baksha pick right here.
Wow, this is amazing because one thing that we have not talked about yet is when the meta favored like the Masha as well as the Chango, a hero has risen from the ashes. That's Baksha.
Yep.
We don't know how much harass potential Baksha can give dish out, and it will be your hero that can jump and close the gap against these heroes. He can harass properly the Masha. He can harass properly the Chango as well.
Plus, you can rotate immediately because of your first skill, and of course, clear out jungle waves because of the reset of your second skill. So, looking at this draft for the side of Impunity KH, they do have a lot of sustainability in their lineup. Of course, with the heals coming in from the Rafaela, the extra movement speed boost from that blessing, plus the rolling shield from the Baksha can answer to the immediate disengage of the Masha and the Hylos.
In the absence of the Lolita pick here, that could be available for Impunity KH, they go for the Baksha. The idea is it's actually a Lolita that can move faster. Because you can just put up your shield, you know, just tank through all the meteor shower and try to defeat your opponents. Bruno, however, is the last pick here for Evos SG.
I like it. They will depend on the crits of this Bruno, but again, this is a ticking time bomb for the side of Evos SG as Bruno is their late game insurance. One revitalize coming in for Mr. Paragon to again tank up all of the damage. Who do you think has the better draft?
Wow, that is a very hard question actually. This time though, I would favor the lineup. You know, here's the thing, right? There's a difference between a lineup and a draft. If you talk about the draft, it's the order of picks that will lead to your lineup. Right? That's why if you ask me what's the better draft, I would dare say that it could be even the lineup of Impunity KH. Because of how they banned their against their opponents and how they picked the Basha last pick, Rafaela. I like it.
And that was an immediate Basha pick after the Chango. They were expecting the Chango from side of Evos SG. So I do feel that they have the upper hand. If I'm not mistaken, this is probably the debut of
Basha
at least here in the group stages. All right, it's the newest hero to come out right now, especially with the Masha.
Well, it's the second newest one because Ling. However, Ling is not available in competitive play just yet because just so released. But Basha made it to the deadline and he's now available for M1 teams to actually go for
and it counters all of the unnecessary damage that the Chango has, of course, of the passive and the shields. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the game number 1 of series number 3. Impunity KH will go to the blue side, and Evos SG on the red side.
We did talk about the top players here. What is going to be there to take care of the Harith Zens on this carry? It's active on this Thams Paragon taking the Baksha this time. And boom on this Rafaela.
Okay, so OD Bambi is using the Chango right now. Jiao PL on the Silo Soul as the Masha AC will be using the Valir and Potato with the Bounty Hunter as the Bruno. So there is the request backup right there for Team Impunity KH as they will try to invade this Blue Shocker.
This Baksha already rolling against their opponents, threatening this take off the invade. They will be successful in doing so. And this means that Impunity KH will have better control of the early game. They even take out some of the green camps in here now to pressure the Masha in the bottom side of the map.
Giving it to the Harriet, of course. They want that maximum power spike of the Harriet. They want to get it before the 2-minute mark, even giving him the River Crab right now. So what, ladies and gentlemen, is doing really fine here in the first 2 minutes of the game.
So they will also have access to another blue buff. So in the end, we'll have 3 blue buffs. By the way, we are taking note of the battle spells in here.
Yeah.
This double revitalize on the side of Impunity KH. They really want to match the siege potential of Evos SG this time.
Yeah.
There could be an invade, however, as already Odir Bambi is level 4, and we know that if the Meteor Shower is available for the THNKYOU, we can clearly clear out the jungle camps very, very quickly.
But I think for the side of Impunity KH and Evos SG, they need to move right now. Impunity KH has the level advantage here of the Harriet, so I think they can immediately tower dive the bottom lane. But as I say this, that was an immediate tower destroyed by Evos SG in the top lane, so the Bruno can now join the fights.
Well, actually, what they're doing right now is the turtle. And of course, the bomb from Paragon is going to prevent them from happening. That's going to be actually a lot of damage output potential from Impunity KH that Evos SG will not want to dip their hands into.
With a sliver of health, Boom survived that potential death. Ladies and gentlemen, Soul is at level 4. Evos SG controlling the mid game and the first turtle. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Potato just farming up his items right now. What is very disciplined, not going for any tower dives yet.
Oh, actually went for the Pillager Axe this time. Wants to flash farm against his opponent.
Yes.
Paragon gonna be stunned up, but in comes Zhao. In comes the rest of Impunity KH. They do have the damage this time. Revitalize will not count it. That's a Hylos down for the count.
And that is Revitalized to save their health. But again, there is a burst coming in from Soul. Here comes AC firing up all the flames. And that is a Harriet down.
Wow.
1-1 is the score.
A very smart play coming out from Soul. He went for the time where the Impunity KH already burned through their ultimates, and they actually forced out the kill onto the Harriet. This time, look at this. Soul comes in at the right moment to actually pick apart the Harriet when the Harriet doesn't have any more Zaman Force or any Chrono Dashes left for himself.
And besides that, that was a nice stun coming in from the Valier to deflect Harriet's dash.
Yep.
But as I say this, there's going to be another pick-up here in the bottom lane. Soul will be the one to die.
Of course, and you have the initiation coming out from Paragon as well as the ultimate. We know that that's Basha. The name of the game for this hero is to pressure your opponents. Try to go for this. Look at this, a very smart play, however, from Jiao PL as he tanks through that roll coming out from the Basha.
So this is the power of the lineup of Impunity KH. They can immediately go in and out of fights, especially having their sustainability and lots of dashes. They can actually dive in AC right now if he is not careful.
Let's be careful. There's Meteor Shower, and look at the damage he's been dealing with. And of course, the Revitalize will be there to save teammates.
This is the second turtle of the game. Is this a free turtle for Impunity KH? Jiao PL lurking behind. He will pop the second skill and the stun. He will go for Boom. Turtle on the inch of health, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the glorious pathway. Jiao will get away, but the turtle will go to Impunity KH for an exchange of a turret.
Yeah, in exchange for a turret, they will take out a turtle. That means that Evos SG still will get a lot of advantage in here.
Yep.
Now there is going to be the backstab from the Basha, but nice pushback coming out from this Valier. And of course, the damage from the Bruno, it's actually threatening even the Basha at this point.
Team Evos SG is buying time and creating space for Mr. Potato to get to his power spike. He is at 0-0 right now. But as I say this, there is another clash here in the bottom side as the Zaman Force will burst out the Valier. Here comes the Meteor Shower from Odir Bambi, but it will do nothing as Impunity KH will take control of that fight.
Impunity KH with a 1-for-1 trade-off, and actually very happy about what happened because they actually freed up a little bit of space for Zenz, the marksman, to farm.
Yes.
There still is a lot of gold lead coming out from Team Evos SG, but Impunity KH, they aren't that scared anymore. They know that they are trailing behind in terms of gold, but just a little bit. And it is enough actually to give them confidence heading towards the late game.
Confidence is the name of the game for Impunity KH because of Paragon's Baksha right now. Plus, they do have the TAMs to deal with the creep waves. But again, Team Evos SG, they are not forcing any fights. They're just splitting up the map because of the smash pick. And of course, Odir Bambi using his Meteor Shower to probably put in pressure in the mid lane.
Look, the stun connects and in comes the TAMs. They have the damage and they will take down the Valier this time. From another side of the map, that's going to be a kill onto Zenz. And that's why Evos SG, they're still happy about this trade.
Yeah,
support for a core.
A support for a core.
And a turret as well.
Plus Basha is, Basha is now at level 9. Soul is doing pretty well right now. Team Impunity KH, they're forcing a team fight here in the bottom side. That is the Meteor Shower from behind. Nice flat from the THNKYOU. But again, the Harriet and the Baksha just pretty strong here in the bottom side as the pressure is still on for the side of Evos SG.
Basha is threatening for a kill this time, for a cleanup kill. But of course, there's a lot of power in here. Here comes the carry. They will take out the Harriet, however, with the damage coming up from the THNKYOU. They actually tried to escape this time as Ace was able to flicker away. Zhao PL is very, very tacky, but from the backlines, they already isolated the carry. The carry goes down. And this means that Evos SG will have control of this turtle. TAMs and the Basha, can they defend this?
I think not, because here comes Zhao PL. That is a free turtle for Evos SG. Plus, as we are now seeing the core items are now online.
Oh yeah, you know what? That is the perfect usage of the Hylos.
Yes.
Just zone out your opponents. Never mind the kills.
Never
you don't
mind the
really
kills.
care about the kills at this point.
Yep.
As long as your opponents, or as long as your teammates, I mean, are able to secure the objectives, like the turtle and the turret, you're pretty confident and happy with what you are doing, even if you, technically speaking, just soak up the damage.
Just use the glorious pathway to as a warning shot, as a warning sign for Team for their opponents right now. Paragon is trying his best to get all these stuns, to get all this burst. But as I say this, here comes another glorious pathway for Zhao PL, and that is the power of the Hylos pick right now. Immediately disengaging.
Whoa. Now up top, Soul pressure onto the top lane because of this Masha. Look at how quickly he is able to force his opponents to react. And actually, Atev will have to use the Cottoned Inferno. That's the ultimate burned out by this TAMs.
They do need the crowd control for the Masha right now. As I look at this, Evos SG doing a little bit of magic trick as they are pulling off the misconception play.
Misdirection play.
Yeah, the misdirection play. I mean, Impunity KH still, they do want to get picks. They do want to pull off a 5-on-5 because of this Rafaela. But man, Evos SG still goes for the split push.
I think you want to go for the split push at this point, because you know the Masha will have to look for openings and not for good initiations.
Yes.
Not like full 5v5 clashes. But we're happy with some of the pickups. Look at this. Actually, he's being forced out. That is a mistake from Soul. But of course, a very nice punish from Impunity KH.
This is vintage Evos SG. It is clear that with their games, they cannot end the game very quickly as they put the pressures on themselves in the mid game of the fight, because I mean, this is still a carry here for the side of Impunity KH.
Well, then again, they are able to take out the THNKYOU. That's a big kill already for Impunity KH. They march forward. The glorious pathway signals the retreat for Evos SG. The Bruno is in here to actually dish out some damage in there to threaten Impunity KH. But Impunity KH, they will not fight. Instead, they will head towards the Lord this time. They know that this is a 4 versus 5 fight that they might be able to win.
The best objective of the game. Here we go. There's the knockup, ladies and gentlemen. Baksha just rolling out, boxing in Mr. Paragon. But that is the last hit for Mr. Watt with a double T. Paragon tanking in 4 heroes coming in from Evos SG. He won't survive, but mission accomplished for Impunity KH. They will get that objective.
Mission accomplished indeed for Impunity KH. They might lose Paragon, but that is a support that they're happy to actually give away. And instead, they get the Lord. And this means that Impunity KH will have a little bit of control of the map for perhaps a minute or two, or they can either farm or get some turrets for themselves. It's going to be up to them how they make the most out of this Lord.
Let's see, because again, this is a Bruno with no deaths right now, going for the endless battle. I would dare say that the Bruno is stronger than the carry in terms of one-on-one in the late game. But again, Impunity KH is holding on together, grouping up themselves to in order for them to confuse Evos SG on who to target.
Look at what Watt is doing, actually bumping himself against the wall so that his chrono dash is maximized, because you want to use your chrono dash and down first against the turret. A very nifty play that you saw with him. You think that it was a mistake, like chrono dashing against the wall, but it's actually a strategy.
It's a strategy to reset, right?
Yeah. You know, it just shortens your chrono dash so that you can attack ever so quickly. It's like you're always right-click, you're attacking, with your chrono dash.
And of course, Team Impunity KH doesn't have any crowd control to deal with the glorious pathway and the wild power of the Maxia. Look at this, Maxia just going for the cut. Still, Evos SG, they want to pull off this pressure strategy that they have.
Spyragon actually marching forward. They had the taps as well. A very nice jump from both Impunity KH cores. This time though, Soul is able to run away with the last set of his HP. Jiao PL spots out Boom and says, no, we have to back down. We have to forfeit the tower up top and just defend for the second one.
Let's see right now. Team Evos SG very patient in their lineup. They do want to pull off that miracle meteor shower play in order for them to pick off Zenz, who is doing pretty fine and pretty well in this carry.
It's interesting to see that we have a low kill score even when we already are at 12 minutes. And there's a lot of damage from both teams' drafts, from both teams' lineup. But then again, people from both teams aren't really fighting that much. They are going for skirmishes. When someone already dies, they don't overcommit, they just back out. This actually explains to me how intense, how important this game is.
Yes, it is, of course. Team Evos SG, they will immediately back off after the Zaman Force. But again, they don't have a good
look at Basha.
Burst.
They don't have burst.
Like they don't have a good burst.
Don't necessarily have the burst, and there's a lot of defense, however, from Impunity KH, courtesy of the Baksha, and you have the heal from the Rafaela. This time, though, Atep will not let this Masha get free reign, but look at this. It's actually winning the battle this time. Masha, one of the best 1v1 fighters out there.
Of course, that thunderclap, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes another meteor shower from the THNKYOU. Watt is falling low. That hurts, but the Revitalize is there to save their lives. And oh my, no one is dying. AC with a Slither of Health, but here comes Soul for the flank. That is Evos SG picking off 2.
Evidently a mistake from Impunity KH. They fought against the Hylos. How many times should they fall into that kind of trap? So many teams fall in that kind of trap. Well, the Hylos is in front. You thought I could kill him, but the Revitalize will be popped, and of course the Glorious Pathway in there. So much sustain from the Hylos, it's more than enough. And Harith overstayed his welcome against the Meteor Shower. You can never, ever underestimate the damage of the Meteor Shower.
The Meteor Shower and the crits from the soccer balls of the Bruno. Mr. Wolf, the Hylos right now, I think, is the most important pick for each team who wants to run the split push strat. But again, like what you've said, the Hylos is just baiting out skills coming in from Impunity KH.
Oh, it comes the Meteor Shower, close range, Tham sustaining, will get the kill, but of course loses the 2 versus 1 fight. Nevertheless, he still took 1 down with him, and Evos SG might overthink that kind of strategy. Look at this. Soul overstayed in there.
Soul overstaying is welcome. Here is the push coming in from Evos SG. The firepower from the Searing Turrets of AC is the key ingredient for Evos SG to actually give space for their carries right now. And man, the pokes is just so real for Evos SG.
They did force out the usage of the Meteor Shower, but at this point, with all of the items with cooldown reduction, this THNKYOU can easily spam out his skills. Can use that meteor shower almost every minute or every 30 seconds, I mean. And look at this, even committing the meteor shower to take out the jungle camp, so that the buffs will not be available for Impunity KH anymore.
And I think Impunity KH, they need to not get baited by the Hylos, and of course they need to save their ultimates, because after the Zaman Force, what kind of initiation can you do? Again, you don't have any stuns from your team, so you cannot get the Bruno and Zhao PL.
Well, the idea there, however, is that you kind of shift your focus instead, right?
Yeah.
For Impunity KH, instead of trying to go and match the split push, what you need to do is to go for side lane pushes. Or like go for force out your 5v5 fights. And for Evos SG, since they have been taking care of the silence for far too long, they now have to focus on when to go for actually the finishing kills.
Yeah.
The finishing pushes. What I'm trying to say is both teams will have to look for what they really want to do. Do you want to split push? Do you want to 5v5? Do you want to straight up just siege your opponents? You have to decide right now, because you cannot, you know, half-bake your decisions at this point.
But let's see if that can be done, as Oh Dear Bambi having the Ring of the Rants in his items. Ladies and gentlemen, 17 minutes into the game. This is just game number 1. Evos SG still pressuring out the map. A minute and a half left for the next Lord, and I do feel that Evos SG has the setup right now for this Lord take. Man, Soul is just everywhere in the map, controlling the tempo of this game.
Yeah, it's about, actually, if you think about it, Evos SG are relying on Soul's decision making.
Soul decision making, yeah.
Because sometimes he actually forces out very good resources, I would say, from Impunity KH.
Yep.
I'm saying that Cotterate Inferno and the cooldown of Cotterate Inferno is a resource, if you think about it. So if you force that out, there is a little bit of timing for Evos SG to actually force out fights, because Cotterate Inferno not being available for Impunity KH in a 5v5 clash is actually pretty bad.
Is this another bait from the Hylos, and he survives once again? Evos SG running out from the fight, man. Impunity KH. What is this?
They are buying so much time for this Masha to actually harass the turret up top. Did force out the Revitalize as well as the Glorious Pathway, but you know, having control of the map is even better if you think about it. This time though, Impunity KH, how can they fight against Evos SG?
It's not about the team fight anymore for the Singaporeans, but meanwhile, Impunity KH, they probably need a pick off just to get their hopes up, because every time that they do go for fights, Evos SG will just run away. And look at this. Is this the fight that they've been looking for? Here comes the Zaman Force. He wants to go for Oh Dear Bambi, but again, no casualties whatsoever. Boom. We'll just go for the blessing, and like what you've said, more space created by Evos SG for Soul to keep going.
This is what they're doing, right? Evos SG, they don't really want to go for the kills at this point. Yes, they do fight 4 versus 5, and they're happy to put the Hylos in front. Have Impunity KH commit all their skills, their Zaman Force, their Cotterate Inferno, is to take out Zhao PL. But every time they do it, they buy the time. They don't get the kills necessarily. They just go for turret pushes. And that is what Masha has been doing for far too long. Now, they want to go to take out the Lord this time, but they have to be careful. In fact, they have this scout. They have this Valier to scout out where their opponents are, and let's see who will take this Lord.
But look at the minimap. Here comes Masha with a push. Here comes another Glorious Pathway.
Oh, Valier!
The Valor with the Searing Turret plus the Ball of Flames. That is the killing spree from the THNKYOU. And Impunity KH falling low as Team Evos SG marching towards their base. That is the Lord, ladies and gentlemen, for them to have 20 minutes in this game, 7-13. Evos SG with a 3-4-0 lead in that clash.
Oh, Impunity KH just went a little bit impatient in there now. They're losing their inhibitor in the mid and the bottom as well. Glorious Pathway. I think this should be the victory for Evos SG. Can they get it? Yes, they will. To take game number 1. Evos SG was close. They had to pull everything up their sleeves, but at least